Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It is me, Allie. Today I'm going to be filming a very chill sit down chit chat Q&A video. I asked you guys on Instagram just this morning to send me some questions that you want answered, and I have a ton of them coming in right now, so I figured I will start at the bottom and just scroll up and try to answer as many as I can. So without further ado, let's just get on into it. Okay, let's just hit the ground running. Also, I have the world's neediest dog right now, so Jax will probably be in the frame of this entire video, or I'll just be scratching him and kind of like petting him throughout this whole video, just throwing that out there. But yes, let's hit the ground running. The very first question that I got is, what is one of the dumbest things you have ever done in your entire life? I actually have two that tie for first for dumbest things that I've ever done in my entire life. This is definitely going to be more of a story time answer rather than just a quick little rapid fire answer. I'm embarrassed for myself, I really am. Also, before I jump on into the story time, I just want to throw out a little disclaimer. What I'm going to talk about might not be super family friendly, and I know I kind of like pride myself on having a channel that is super family friendly, and I also know that a lot of like parents will watch my videos with their children. This video as a whole will be pretty family friendly, but these next two story times, they might be more of mature content. It's not inappropriate, but I just don't know if I would want like a 9 or 10-year-old to listen in on it. So if you are interested in still watching this video but you want to skip this question, this story time, I'll put a little timestamp right here on when it is over. So yes, now let's jump right on into the story time. So both of these story times, both of these dumbest things I've ever done, take place within a year of each other. Jax, you are so needy right now. You're so needy. Sit down, bub. Okay, so both of these story times take place within a year span of each other. My senior year of high school into my freshman year of college. Also have to take you back like 25 years right now because this is important to the story. When I was young, I don't think that they do this anymore. I think to start kindergarten you have to be 5 years old, but back in the day they gave parents who had birthdays that were in fall the option to send their child forward at 4 or wait a whole nother year until they turn 5. So my birthday is November 22nd. My parents had that option and they just sent me forward. So I was 4 when I started kindergarten. Everybody else was 5. When they were all turning 13, I was turning 12. When all my friends were turning 18, I was only turning 17. And what happens when you turn 18? You are allowed to go to clubs. And what happens when you graduate high school at 17? You are not allowed to go to clubs with your friends. So my senior year, the summer of my senior year, going into my freshman year, all of my friends were just having the time of their freaking lives, going to the clubs all the time, sending pictures after the club would end at like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. They would go to like these 24-hour diners. They wouldn't get home until like 3 or 4 in the morning, and then they would talk about it the next day, how much fun that they had, and I'm like, cool. I drank tea, read a book, and was in bed by 9. Like, that's my life at 18. And I was just so sick of it. And my friend actually suggested using her old license. So I didn't have a fake ID, but again, dating myself back, I don't know if they do this anymore, but back in the day when I turned 18, you used to have your new license. You would get a new license at 18 and they would take your old license and they would clip it. So one part of your license would be clipped and then they would give it back to you. And if you ever tried to like use it, people would look at that license and be like, it's clipped, that's expired, you can't use it anymore. So my friend Ashley was like, I just got a new ID because I turned 18. Why don't you just use my old one that has a clip in it and just tell them like, oh, you lost your new one and you're waiting for it to come in. So in the meantime, you're just using your clipped one. Do you hear Jax right now? He's losing his mind on the bed right now, like literally doing somersaults on the bed right now. Anywho, I was like, I don't think this is gonna work, but it's worth a shot. I want to go have some fun with my friends. So I ended up taking her license, her old expired license, and I memorized all of her information, and I was like, let's just try it out. So we went to the club and it worked, and I got in. I was like, oh, I lost my ID and this is just my old expired one for the time being, and they let me in. So I got to the little club. and then I went out with my friends at night, and I got a taste of that life, and it was so much fun. I got a taste of like the pre-college life, and it was just so much fun. So we went like a bunch of times, and then I started getting a little too comfortable. This dog, I swear. So I was just getting a little too comfortable, and one night we were all planning on going to McFadden's. I can say the name because they have since shut down. I don't want to throw like any clubs under the bus, but that one has since shut down. And if you are a Rhode Island native watching this video, can we just take a moment of silence for McFadden's? It was the best bar in the entire world. I have many memories at that bar. So many birthdays celebrated there. It was the bar of my dreams. So anyways, we went to McFadden's one day, and I was just feeling a little too confident at this point, and I went my turn to give my ID and to check every my stuff out with the bouncer, and he looked at my ID, looked at me, looked back at my ID, looked back at me, and he was like, "Who's Allison?" And I was like, Allison? Who's Allison? Like, I'm Ashley. My name is Ashley. That's what it says on my ID. My name is Ashley. So he looks back at my ID, looks back at me, and he goes, seriously, like, who's Allison? And I was like, what are you talking about? Like, who's Allison? And at this point, my heart was racing so fast. I was like, oh my God, I'm in trouble. There was like police down the street. I'm like, oh my God, like, I'm gonna get arrested. Like, what's happening? I was like, how does he know my name? And I was like, still trying to play it cool. I'm like, no, I'm Ashley. Like, what are you talking about? So he just like points to my neck. I was wearing my name necklace. Like, what an idiot. I'm so stupid. I had a name necklace. So like, I have this one right now that says Landon, but I had one that just said Allison. Why I needed a necklace that said my own name is beyond me, but that was like super popular when I was in high school. And I wore my name necklace to a bar while trying to get in using a fake ID that says Ashley. So needless to say, I did not get in that night. He actually took the ID and kept it, and he said, I can't give this back to you. I can't let you in. He did laugh about it. I mean, in the grand scheme of life, it's not like a super bad offense. Like, I totally get it was against the law, or you shouldn't be doing that, but I mean, in the grand scheme of life, it wasn't that bad. But yeah, I went to a bar trying to use a fake ID with my name necklace on that said Allison. So I think that was August, and I turned 18 in November. So at that point I was just like, whatever, I'm just gonna ride it through until I turn 18 and I can go legally. So that is story time number 1. That was so much fun. I kind of want to do like more story times on my channel. I actually really enjoyed chatting about that. Let's move on to question number 2. Favorite influencers. I think I have 3 that probably influenced me the most. Number 1 being Milena Ciciotti. I want to be Milena Ciciotti when I get older. Like, in my next lifetime, I want to be Milena Ciciotti. I look up to her so much, and I love all of her recommendations. I follow her on YouTube, and I follow her on Instagram. Absolutely obsessed. I would say the second one is Rachel Martino. I don't read her blog, but I follow her religiously on Instagram, and I have purchased so many things from her links. She has the best recommendations. So she would be number 2, and I would say number 3 would be Allison Bickerstaff. I also follow her on Instagram and on YouTube. Love her vlogs. They are so calming and cozy and aesthetically pleasing, and she also has a ton of great recommendations that I have bought from her links as well. Question number 3, probably the most highly requested question I've received, not only on this questionnaire, but like since August, September hit. The question is, how is teaching during a pandemic? Now, I hate when YouTubers say this. I'm going to answer this at a later date, but I am going to say that I'm going to answer this at a later date. And the reason for that is I just started making some notes about it, and I'm still scrolling. I have so much to say about this that I could make like a completely separate video. I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to do is an Instagram live. I have a bunch of questions that you guys have asked, and I have like a bunch of highlighted things that I want to talk about, but I also want it to be more like real time where you guys are asking questions and I can respond right at the spot. So if you follow me on Instagram, if you don't follow me on Instagram, if you guys are interested in following me on Instagram, I will put my link in the description below. At some point next week, I'll like let you know which day I'm going to do it. It'll probably be later when Landon goes to sleep. He goes to sleep around like 7:30, 8 o'clock. So I'll probably do it for like 8:30, and I'll let you know like 2 days in advance. And if you're not able to make it to the Instagram live, I will save it onto my highlights so you guys can watch it at a later date. But yeah, I was thinking about answering that question right now. It's impossible. This video will end up being like 2 hours long. I have so much to say about it, so I figured I would make it like a little bit more personal and a little bit more intimate, like you and I, and just do an Instagram live. So stay tuned for that if you guys are interested. I will say, just to answer it like briefly, this is the most trying year of my career. Teaching during a pandemic is not at all what I expected. But I will say that it is weirdly okay. It is wild as a whole, but we're persevering and we're making the most of it. And it's, I don't want to say it's better than I thought, because some days are really great and some days I go home and I cry. And just throwing it out there and being very honest with you. But it is okay. 2020. It is okay. And I also want to end with a really positive thing, and I want to shout out my students. I am so proud of my students. I am always so proud of my students. I teach 5th grade and this is my 11th year teaching, and I have never seen students persevere so hard in their entire lives as I have seen them do this year with the pandemic. However hard it is for me as a teacher, however hard it is for people as parents, it is 10,000 times harder for students with all of the new protocols and all of the new guidelines and things that they have to follow from the CDC, CDC. It is next to impossible for these students, and they're doing it, and they're doing it with a smile on their face, and they're doing it while laughing and having fun. And I am so proud to call myself a teacher in 2020. However hard it is for me, just going there and seeing my students laughing and learning and just like making the most of it, it is just heartwarming, and it makes it all worth it, and it is the complete reason why I signed up for teaching in the first place. Okay, let me get myself in a frame for this next question. My battery just died. Just put a new battery in, so I'm gonna get myself in a frame for this next question. Question number 4. Are you quitting YouTube? I think the reason I received this question, comment, concern so much this past week is because just about a week ago, yes, October 15th, I have right here, just about a week ago, I did a very informal Instagram Q&A, and I asked you guys to send me questions. One of those questions being, are you bummed that you don't get as many YouTube views as you used to? And I responded, and after that response, I received so many messages from you guys. It warmed my heart so much. So I'm basically going to read my response, and then I'm going to address whether or not I'm going to be quitting YouTube. So again, the question is, or was, are you bummed that you don't get as many YouTube views as you used to? And my answer was, honestly, yes. I have been struggling with self-worth lately when it comes to YouTube, blah, blah, blah. But yes, I am bummed. I worked so hard and poured myself into my channel, and it's hard to see that that chapter of my life might be potentially closing altogether. It's to the point that I have brands that I love and want to promote, reach out for sponsorships, and I now consider saying no to them because I'm nervous that my video will fail. It's wild. My friends are super supportive, and when we go out, they always build me up and occasionally tell people she's famous. She's a YouTuber with 420,000 subscribers. And I used to love that so much, but now I'm embarrassed if that happens because I know the person on the other side of the conversation will look at my channel and be like, wow, 420,000 subscribers, 5K views on a video. Cool. Anyways, it has been hard, but silver lining is I look back at all the success that I've had on YouTube for the past 7 years, connecting, meeting with so many of you, having a video hit 6.4 million views, getting sponsorships, something that little Allison would never dream to be possible, collaborating with freaking Disney multiple times, just to name a few. And I think, okay, this chapter of my life may be closing soon, but it was one serious hell of a ride. So I put that up as my response, and I received so many DMs from all of you guys, the sweetest messages. I tried to respond to every single one that I possibly could. Just so many of you guys saying how much you support me and how much you love my videos and how you don't want me to quit YouTube, and how like there are just seasons of life, and this season of my life just might not be the YouTube one, but can always come back. So many like inspirational messages, and I just wanted to take a moment to thank you from the bottom of my heart for kind of putting it into perspective for me. To be honest with you, my videos used to receive like 50K to 500K views like per video at one point, and I think that really has a lot to do with the DIY era. My channel kind of blew up during the DIY era because I did a lot of DIY content, and during that time those videos were booming. So any like DIY content type video that I would put up, I would get like 50,000 to sometimes like 1 million, 2 million views. And I mean, that's really awesome for a content creator. And I've noticed that recently, like my top views would be like 25,000, which is nothing to like scruff about. Like that's still incredible, but considering where I was before to where I am now, it does kind of play like a mind game on you. And I think when I was doing that series of Instagram stories, I was just kind of like at a weird place with social media. I have a piece of hair in my mouth right now, awesome. But yeah, I just was kind of like ranting and just like expressing how I've been feeling. I have been like struggling with self-worth lately when it comes to social media, because I don't know, I feel like where I was before, my channel is just not there right now. But I'm super grateful that I did put that Instagram story out there, because the amount of you guys that responded and gave me advice and inspiration and just like kind of like pushing me to keep going, and how you guys love my videos. Like hearing somebody say like that they love my videos is reason enough to keep doing it. So thank you guys for putting that into perspective for me. To be quite honest with you, I don't plan on quitting anytime soon. For now, I'm still enjoying it. There are definitely days it feels like work, but like there are also a lot of days that it's just so much fun for me. So I hold on to those days that are so much fun for me. And for now, I'm not quitting anytime soon. What the future holds for me for YouTube, I simply do not know. But I do know for now I'm enjoying it. I do hope I can have some viral videos again in the future. I mean, obviously that is a goal for any content creator, but it had happened in the past, it can happen again. And if it doesn't happen again, I'm still enjoying it while I can. So no, I am not quitting YouTube anytime soon. I'm making it a goal for myself to still film like once a week. If it becomes more of like a chore or work, I'm just taking some time off, something that I never would have done in the past. But now I'm just to the point where I want to do if it is fun for me. If it's not fun for me and it feels like a job or a chore, I don't want to do it. So if I need to give myself like little breaks in between, I'm just giving myself little breaks in between. And yeah, so I'm not really quitting YouTube. I'm not super happy with where my channel is right now, but that can change. It could change over time, and if it doesn't, again, it has been one serious hell of a ride. Question number 5, one of my favorite stories. The question is, do you get recognized? So to answer that as a whole, no, I don't get recognized very often in my hometown. I live in Rhode Island, which is a very small state. It is the smallest state, and I don't usually get recognized in Rhode Island. I've maybe gotten recognized in Rhode Island or New England like a handful of times. However, when I travel to Disney, I do get recognized, and I get recognized quite often in Disney. So especially when my channel was like super heavy Disney content related, I would go to Disney and I would get recognized a ton, and it is the sweetest thing ever. If I've ever met you in Disney before or anywhere, it has just made my life. Getting to like actually talk to you guys in person and hug you guys and take pictures with you guys, it is the best feeling. I think it is why like a lot of people decide to do YouTube in the first place, is to like connect with all of you guys and actually getting to like meet you face to face. There are no words that can explain that feeling, but I did want to share a little story time about one of the first times I ever got recognized in Disney. This video is just turning into a series of story times, and I'm okay with it. But yes, let's flash back like 4 or 5 years ago. I went to Disney with Adam and his whole family. It was actually the trip that I got engaged on, which, side story, that was really awesome. It was a very magical trip, but I was at Disney with Adam's family. We were in Animal Kingdom and we weren't even in the park yet. So you know when you go to Animal Kingdom and you have to walk through like the security area, and right before that they have like a little kiosk outside, like a little store that you can buy Animal Kingdom merch. So I was in there and I was looking for Minnie Mouse ears, as one does, and there's this guy. He was probably like in his 40s, 50s, and he was just staring into my soul. He did not have a smile on his face though. He had a very mean, mugged face on, and it was kind of creepy. So he was just like literally staring into my soul. So I just went above my business, looking for Minnie Mouse ears, looking at the merch, and no matter where in the store I went, anytime I would glance over at this guy, he was staring at me, like angrily staring at me. I was getting a little creeped out at this point, but again, I just kept going about my business. The next time that I looked over, he started to approach me, and now I was getting like a little nervous inside because, like I said, this was one of the first times I had ever gotten recognized. I wasn't used to it at all. I'm still not used to it, but it was just kind of like an outlier for me. So he started walking up to me, and he came up to me and he was like, "Do you have a YouTube channel?" And I was like, "Oh, I do have a YouTube channel." He's like, "Are you like themissalliecakes or something?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, that's my channel." He's like, "Can you please go talk to my daughter? She's been screaming about you for the past 10 minutes. And I look over and he has like this little daughter. She had to be like 10, maybe 11 tops. I'm thinking like 7, 8, 9. And she was like almost in tears, like shaking, like smiling. And she must watch my videos. And she was probably like tugging on the dad, like, "I think that's a YouTuber that I watch. I think that's a YouTuber. I want to go say hi. Can you go talk to her for me?" So I ended up going over and like taking a picture with the little girl. She was so sweet. I gave her hugs and we took pictures, and it was the sweetest thing. But the dad just made me laugh so hard. You could tell he was so Disneyed out at this point. He was angry, he was tired, he was hot, he was on a schedule. You could tell like it was just not his idea of a family vacation. A lot of dads that go out to Disney, unless you're like hardcore into Disney, you can just tell the people that are like Disneyed out. And I think that guy at that point, that dad at that point, was just like seriously Disneyed out, and the last thing that he wanted to do was talk to somebody that he didn't know. It was just so funny. I love that story. I think about it all the time. So yes, I did get recognized. That was one of the first times, and honestly, what a better story for my first time to get recognized. Question number 6. What question are we even on anymore? The question is, are you planning on having kids again anytime soon? I have answered this a ton on my Instagram, but yes, we're actually going to start trying relatively soon. We said when Landon turned 18 months we would start trying again, and Landon will be 18 months in just about a week and a half. Our goal was to start trying between like 18 months to 2 years, so we are gonna start trying soon. I have insane baby fever right now, like insane baby fever. So long story short, yes, we're gonna start trying again soon. Next question, do you still see a therapist? I don't currently still see a therapist. I haven't seen a therapist since I was 2 or 3 months postpartum with having Landon. However, I still do use a ton of the coping strategies that I learned throughout therapy whenever I am feeling anxious. What were we going to name Landon if he was a girl? So if you did not follow along during my pregnancy journey, we did not find out the gender of our baby. We waited until she was born, and we ended up having a little boy, and we named him Landon Carter. Best surprise in the whole world. Will 100% never find out the gender of any of my babies. It was the most blissful moment of my entire life, and if you are willing to, I would highly suggest not finding out the gender of your baby. It is just, I think back to the moment when Adam said it's a boy, and I just still get chills because best surprise of my entire life. I'm gonna like tear up, start thinking about it. It's just, it's an out of this world experience. But we decided not to find out the gender. We ended up having a boy. We named him Landon Carter. If we were to have a girl, we were going to name her Lillian. And the only reason why I'm sharing that right now is because we already talked about it. If the next time we are blessed enough to get pregnant, and if we do end up having a girl, we're not going to use the name Lillian. we have a different name in mind now. Adam and I are going to brunch in the next like half hour, so I'm going to answer like maybe 1, 2, 3 tops more questions, and then your girl is going to go eat her body weight in waffles and bacon, and it's going to be glorious. So the next question is an LOL story. So in honor of this turning into like a story time series, I'm gonna give you another little story time. This happened when I was a senior in high school and my best friend Capri was a junior in college. When I was a senior in high school, my best friend was a junior in high school. Her sister was a sophomore or a junior in college. Her and our sister are super close. They are actually our neighbors. We grew up together and we were all just like super close, so we had like a very good relationship. When she was in college, she had asked us to go to like one of the college parties, which is funny because both of our parents were pretty overprotective, but her sister is just like a golden child and she would never let like anything bad happen to us. So she had invited us to a college party, and our parents for some odd reason were like, sure, we'll drop them off at a college party. I think they were going out to dinner. And it's good to know that my best friend Capri's mom at the time had a minivan. So just it's funny for the story at the end. So I think they were gonna go out to dinner. They dropped us off at this party and then they left, which is so out of character for them. My friend and I talk about this all the time. Like, I think they just wanted a night out at this point. So they dropped us off the party, and I think I had a cell phone at the time. And I don't even think Capri had a cell phone at a time. This was like, we're dating ourselves way back. So they dropped us off at the party and we walk into the party and we're walking around and we can't find her sister anywhere. So we know none of the people in the story. I think we did have a phone because we started calling her and she didn't answer her phone. So we're walking around and we notice on the street, all of the houses look exactly the same. It was like a sorority street or a fraternity street where like all the houses look the same. So we're talking to people and they're like, we've never heard of that person before. Like, who are you talking about? So we're like, we're in the wrong house. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing right now? It's like, what time is it? We're seniors and juniors in high school. So we ended up leaving the house, going into the next house. We went into like 3 or 4 houses, just like chilling at college parties as seniors and juniors in high school. We finally meet up with one of her friends and they're like, you're at the wrong party, we'll take you. So they ended up taking us over to her sister's party. At that party, they were playing beer pong. Now, we did not drink. I just want to throw that out there. We did not drink, but her sister was like, yeah, you guys can play, just don't drink. We'll do the drinking. So if you guys like get one in, we'll do the drinking. They're like, but you've never played beer pong, which we never played beer pong at that point. And they're like, you're obviously not going to do well. So we were playing against all these college people, and me and Capri go up and we start playing. And when I tell you, we got every single shot in. We were like blowing them away. All the college people were like, where did you get these guys? Like, where did they come from? Like, we were like, swish, 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 like got 2 in, got the balls back, swish, swish. They had like all these special college rules. They were like, island, if you get it in, you get 3, we would get the island in. We were just like crushing it. We were living our best lives. We felt so cool. We're in the middle of doing like one of our shots and we hear beep 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 beep, and we look outside and it's our moms in the minivan waving at us. They could see us in the big window. They're like, it's time to go. They're just like waving at us in the minivan like, let's go, we're gonna take you guys now. So here we are at a college party playing beer pong, like owning it, like so cool. And then beep beep, there's our mom in the minivan. It was so funny. We laugh all the time. The college guys were all just like waving at our parents. So we go downstairs and we get in the minivan and we're like, bye, and then we drove off. It was so funny. We didn't drink a single sip that night. She would not let us drink anything. It was just so funny thinking about like us. I think I was 16 because I was 16 or 17. My friend was like 15 or 16, and here we are owning the beer pong table at a college party and then just leaving in our minivan with our moms. Okay, last question. Are you going to be cutting and donating your hair again? And the answer is depends what day it is. One day I am all about it. The next day I'm not quite sure. I will be cutting and donating my hair again. I just don't know if it's going to be sooner or later. I'll show you the inspo that I have. This is it right now. Rachel Martino, again, she's a huge influence for me, but I love this cut and I love this style. My original goal was to cut it the day after my birthday, which will be November 23rd, and donate it, and I'll just have like a fresh new start and start growing it out again. but I'm really kind of like digging my longer hair right now. One of the main reasons, I'm not sure if I'm going to cut it. It's so stupid. I will again be cutting it at some point. I just don't know if it's going to be sooner or later. And the main reason is when I got pregnant with Landon, I had really short hair and I was very self-conscious about it. I'm very self-conscious about my arms. That has always been one of my biggest insecurities. I feel like my arms are just bigger than what I want them to be. And again, everybody's allowed to have their own insecurities. That's one of my insecurities, and I feel like I can always cover my arms when I wear like short sleeves or like spaghetti straps or any of those type of shirts with my hair. So like I'm doing right now. When I had short hair, I did gain weight. I gained a lot of weight, and I noticed that it went like all over my body and my arms ended up getting bigger. And with my short hair, I couldn't like really cover it as much as I would like to. So I haven't decided if I'm going to cut my hair off and donate it soon, or if I'm gonna wait until, knock on wood, I'm able to get pregnant again. Bless if we are able to get pregnant again, and then wait until after I have baby number 2 to chop it off. At that point, it might be like all the way down to here, but I don't know. We're gonna see. I think I'll end up doing it sooner than later, but that's my reasoning behind being not so sure right now. My hair is pretty long. If I pull it, it goes like just below my navel, my little belly button. But yes, I will be cutting and donating it again. Just how soon? I don't know. And that is it for this very lengthy Q&A. Thank you guys so much for watching along. I really appreciate it. I hope that you guys had fun. I had a lot of fun filming this video, and I really enjoyed just doing like story times. If you guys want to see like more story times on my channel, let me know. I'm chock full of them. But yes, I really did enjoy filming this video, and I really hope that you guys enjoyed watching. Thank you guys so much for all of your love and support here on my channel. It means the absolute world to me. I cannot tell you how grateful I am to have you guys as amazing subscribers and amazing supporters of my YouTube dream. So for that, I want to say thank you, and thank you again. I hope that you're having a beautiful fall, and I hope that you have a great Halloween, however that looks for you this year in the pandemic. And I look forward to talking to you all soon. Bye guys.